What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we are jumping in alongside the weekly reset for Destiny 2 on the 25th of November, which of course is the very final week of Season of Reclamation. I have to remind myself of the actual season name over and over again because, well, I forget. Either way, that means next week Renegades kicks off, so that'll be Season of the Lawless, I believe. And we'll briefly mention how we're going to get a bunch of different reveals this week, so there'll be live streams, blog posts, and new gameplay. Additionally though, as we head into the reset, with it being the final week of the season, it is also the final week of Call to Arms. The scoring part of the event has now concluded, but there are still some rewards and benefits to playing in the final few days before we get to the expansion, so we'll talk about all of that. Check out Vendors, the Eververse store, featured rewards and updates from Bungie, as well as a handful of other things. So if you guys enjoy this one, a rating really does help me out on the channel. But now let's get into it. So before we get into gameplay things for this week, it's worth mentioning, of course, with it being a week before Renegades, this is kind of the big reveal week in a handful of ways, because Bungie have numerous different updates coming. So the first one will be an hour after this video goes live, where Bungie have got a new live reveal for Renegades. As they've said, this will include a new Vidoc, as well as the launch trailer for the expansion, so we're getting all the kind of juicy marketing bits, I suppose. In addition to that, during Bungie's live stream, they're going to do a new preview for the Lawless Frontier, which is the core kind of gameplay mode for Renegades itself. So there'll be the campaign, of course, and then the post-game content, which largely will revolve around the Lawless Frontier, the dungeon, and things like that. So we're going to get a much better look at it in just a little while. And if you want to get all of the newest details for Renegades, keep it locked and loaded here on the channel. Check out my recent uploads, as we are going to get a bunch of stuff. Moving more into the gameplay side of things though, with this being the final week of the season, of course, the final warning is here to finish the season in general, whether that's collecting gear, getting titles, or increasing your power level ahead of the expansion since it will not be increasing further. Alongside Call to Arms, of course, we are in the final few days where we can get stuff done, so anything you want to get wrapped up, it is worth doing now. But as far as we understand it, Edge of Fate and Kepler, all of that kind of stuff, will stick around and still be available to play, so the main exceptions will be certain things in the portal, not least the Ash and Iron content. We don't have a specific breakdown of what's leaving yet, but just keep in mind, most of the content and rewards that are currently featured are subject to change when we go into Renegades next week. Now though, moving beyond the weekly reset, we can see Celebration Week is here. The Call to Arms event has ended, but Celebration Week has begun. If you've earned any competitive rewards, claim them in the tower. Additionally, take advantage of the global XP bonus, daily shipments, and weapon attunement that persist this week. So that kind of gives us a better idea of precisely what happens in Celebration Week, I suppose. You'll also notice in the portal that the Call to Arms playlist and the event pop-up right here have kind of gone away, so the specific activities are no longer available, although the tower has some confetti and things fallen. We can see we're still getting the daily shipments, as suggested by the pop-up card right there. The last hurrah, there is sort of a quest step here to speak to Devrim K, and he outlines the remaining benefits for the week, which is basically, like we said, being able to attune and get in the daily shipments. We can also directly acquire any eligible rewards from Devrim, and then kind of curious to see what we get from this. Oh, okay. It basically just brings up the Call to Arms menu again. So as we can see, I didn't quite get the 310 points. In fact, I was a fair way off, but I did importantly get the helmet ornament, which is the one I really wanted. Also, when claiming these, we do get additional Lawless vouchers, but now I have a ludicrously on fire helmet. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Call to Arms, got all the things that you wanted, and just keep in mind, we will still be getting our daily shipments of free gear, which is certainly worth grabbing if you're signing into the game. Pretty cool flaming helmet thing, I suppose. Over to Zavala though, very briefly, Returned Memory is the featured weapon this week. Keep in mind that roles and things will change as the week goes on, but there is one with Heal Clip and Incandescent, if that's what takes your fancy, maybe, or maybe not. Keep an eye on the rolls and let us know if you grab any from Zavala right here at the reset. Now though, let's take a quick look at the Eververse store ahead of Bungie's reveal, which is not too long now. Focusing on Bright Dust as always, don't forget to grab the free Bright Dust. And then for the front section here, we have Trailing Pyrotechnics up for grabs, which is 3,250 Bright Dust. There we go, I've just set my head on fire. Perfect. There is also Show Off, a legendary emote for this season, which is a pretty cool looking thing, I suppose. Additionally, there is the Containment Hazard Exotic Sparrow on the front page for 2,500 Bright Dust. And then we've got the Cannon Fodder Transman effect for 450 Bright Dust. The shader right here, Sakura, which is a curious looking thing. Give us your thoughts on that. That's up for 300 Bright Dust. These are new ones for this season, of course. And then there is Roller Ink, if you're after a bit of animated RGB action. That's quite a lively one indeed. I'm not sure if this has previously been featured in a bundle or what really, but a new animated RGB shader available this reset, so don't miss out on that. But over to the main Bright Dust section, we have the Gotta Light multiplayer emote for 4,250 Bright Dust right there if you're into the multiplayer ones. Pretty cool. Otherwise, we have the helmet from the Black Letter set available this week for 1,200 Bright Dust. Moving forward though, the Wreck Scrapper Shell, a bunch of stuff from this season featured for Bright Dust once again. That one is up for 2,850 Bright Dust. There is also Indigo Wing, a pretty cool exotic ship right here. That one's up for 2,000 Bright Dust. And then the Quicksilver Tempest from the Quicksilver set. This did previously come from a bundle, but you can now grab them individually for Bright Dust as they come up. So that one's 2,500 Bright Dust. And we have the Harpoon ornament for Tractor Cannon right here, which is a pretty cool looking one as well, featured this week. So nice to get that for 1,250 Bright Dust. Otherwise, there is the Daily Bread projection for 1,500 Bright Dust. And the second page of shaders has Vibrant Beach available. Once again, all of these are 300 Bright Dust. There is additionally Byzantium Lotus up for grabs this week, and then Biolume from back in Season of Arrivals, which has some kind of nice colours going on. Otherwise, Tide Smoke is up once again for 300 Bright Dust. And then we have Hive Arrival, Heartbreaking Entrance, and the Confetti Entrance for our Transman effects. So there we go. Let us know if you'll grab anything from the Eververse store this week. And yes, it didn't take long for me to throw on the RGB shader right there. Had to do it, even though I'll decide it's disgraceful at some point in the next couple of days. Just taking a quick look at Banshee to see if there's anything mind-blowing available. And for today at least, keep in mind the roles will change. There is a Threat Detector Trench Barrel Perfect Paradox. The roles will keep changing through the week. Also, actually, Relentless Strikes and Redirection on this sword. Redirection can actually give it a really big damage boost. So if you didn't get one back in Heresy, that actually might be worth grabbing right now. And very finally, let's have a quick visit to Shader 1 down here in the annex. See how she's getting on. For the featured gear right now, is that the Perfectus set from back in Season of the Chosen. If you want to grab those for cosmetic purposes, you can always do that. Otherwise, for shaders, we have Rasmussen Clan from back in the Black Armory, if you need to grab that one. There is additionally Kairos Bronze from the Curse of Osiris era. And finally, Dead Orbit's Fate is also available this week. For today, guys, that is everything we have to round up. So if you've enjoyed the video, a rating very much helps us out on the channel. Be sure as well to hit subscribe so I can keep you posted with more of the content, including the live reveals this week. Also turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on anything. But otherwise, cheers for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.